information all live. That's
Does it say preview?
Well, it should be. Oh, then I press this one. There we go. God, fucking.
How many buttons
we're
do they
live.
have to go
Dude,
live?
YouTube Live is the most asinine system.
We're live.
Well, now I have to press the record on Logic. Give me a second, guys.
Yeah, but we are live.
We are live.
Hello,
to
Cleveland.
Internet land.
Indiana land.
I guess we didn't say this last week. I don't know, but we're streaming on YouTube. We're not currently streaming on Twitch.
No,
but that is an option if anyone's interested in the future. Let us know.
Yeah, the streaming on YouTube is really fucking stupid. I know that they have all this stuff for good reason, but I truly hate that there are like 5 different buttons I have to press in one go to just go live instead of pressing the fucking just start streaming button. But whatever, it's fine.
We got it. You're smart.
We got it. It's just Hagen.
Big
Yeah, I was gonna say we did all the work.
Yeah.
Big brains over here.
Big brains.
We all have our purpose on this podcast, and I think.
Do we?
I don't know if Adam disappeared.
Yeah, what do you do, Dave?
I just
Nice.
Do you remember that time you got drunk and you're like, I don't even know why you're on the fucking show?
I do. I vaguely do.
that was good fucking. That was good shit right there. That's
my favorite
Adam
Adam.
show.
Whoa.
You might need to return that.
No.
Okay.
Can we get some Shania?
Oh, that's not it.
Oh,
Let's go,
embarrassing.
girls.
Nice.
There you
Sorry, I talked over it, Dave.
go. We can try again. Here, let's try.
I'm Jackson.
go,
Good morning.
One more time, maybe. Just
Let's
like
go, girls.
Oh, thanks. Morning. Welcome to Don't Be the Artist. I'm Hagen.
I'm Dave.
I'm Adam.
I'm Jackson.
And I'm Jackson.
You're on mute.
Yes.
You're on mute, baby.
Oh,
wait.
man.
Put the DP in a koozie and then put it in the mug.
I don't know if that'll
No,
fit.
that's too much.
I don't know
Too
if
much.
that'll fit.
Trust me, I already workshopped this, and I was like, I thought about trying to put the entire mug in the koozie, and I was like, I might rip the koozie in front of Hagen, and that feels very rude.
That's fine. I don't.
I
It's
wouldn't
okay. He has extras.
But
Yeah, plenty of extras.
Where are the props from last week?
you're on mute.
Well, so I have the MGK right there, and then I have the guitar hanging right there. So
It's not even in the shot?
The guitar is not in frame.
Well,
I need to find a new place for the guitar. But yeah, the MGK was an easy pick because I was like, oh, I already have the Lars Ulrich Funko right there, so let's just put MGK
goes
right
hand in
next to
hand.
it. Yeah, giant pieces of shit.
Yeah. Some real bottom shelf for the top shelf.
I thought you were gonna. Never mind. How you guys doing?
My back is sore still. Fuck.
Do you want to walk through your back problems?
Oh, I just fucking am 33, I think.
Why'd you look at
I don't
me
know.
like I'm like
I don't know how old I am anymore.
33
You're supposed to
and a
tell
third?
him if he is.
Yeah.
That was a vinyl
You know my
joke.
schedule better than I do. You should know how old I am.
I
Better than I do.
believe you're 33.
I think I'm 33, and I hurt my back 2 weeks ago. It fucking still hurts.
Cool.
Yeah.
You have that to look forward to.
Can someone in the chat confirm if Dave is 33?
Yeah.
Somebody go look it up.
I'm upset my vinyl joke didn't make it over y'all's talking. I said 33 and a third.
Oh.
I don't get it, though.
Yeah, well, okay.
But
He's 33, not 53. Ayo.
Nice. Fuck, where is it? God damn it.
Yeah, fuck, where is it?
That's a short one.
That is a short one. Yeah. It's
How long is it supposed to be? I've never heard a drummer go.
Well, I think he's like more referring to like how long the sounds are.
Yeah,
'cause,
a
like,
couple of
the
the others
applause, like I'll turn it down a little bit just so it's but it's long. It goes for way too long.
It's long.
It's a long boy.
I'm feeling good. I got like 5 hours of sleep because like whenever I wake up in the morning, I typically like I do the like mental math of okay, I went to bed at 2 a.m. What time is it now? Did I get enough sleep? Because that's just the type of person I am.
Yeah.
I'm just a bit too type A that I'm like I think through it instead of like listening to my body. And I did the math wrong this morning, and I was like, I fell asleep at 3, woke up at 9, and I was like, that's a cool 7 hours. And I was like. And then like later in
What'd
the
you
day,
go to school for?
I don't know. For fun.
Calculators. He's supposed to use the calculator, though. He
Oh,
doesn't have to be the calculator.
So whenever halfway through the day, I was like feeling real tired. And I was like, what the fuck is happening? And then I did that math in my head again. I was like, oh. But I can't
hours.
take naps. So
I tried to nap today. I had real trouble.
it real fucks my day. Like
Really?
I wake
Yeah,
up
it's like
more tired.
resets my day, and then I'm fucked up.
As
Yeah.
long as I nap for 20 minutes when the sun is up.
See, I just can't nap for short periods of time. I have to I tried to nap for a short period of time today, and I ended up napping for an hour. But I then realized what was wrong is that I had caffeine withdrawal and shit. So that was my biggest problem. But
That's definitely a thing. I'm trying to. So okay, I was looking up when REM happens, rapid eye movement, when you're sleeping, and it's about 90 minutes after you fall asleep. So I was thinking, like, man, are you hitting that whenever you're 60-minute, like an hour long nap? But no, because when you hit the REM, that's when, like, if you wake up after that, supposedly that's when you feel like groggy and like absolutely
Right.
messed
That's
up.
the problem.
In the middle of a sleep cycle.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't nap at all. Wish I could. I've taken naps in my life that like have like rejuvenated me, but like I've also taken similarly like 30-minute naps and woken up and just been like, oh, I don't want to be here. I don't.
I don't want to be
can't-
on this planet anymore.
It like completely like detaches me from reality, and I'm like for like an hour, I'm like, what's going on? And I like growl like a little corgi mix. Little cooing.
that's my dog screaming in the background.
I doubt they
It probably
can hear
doesn't come through.
Your corgi beagle.
Yeah, Corgi Beagle.
Your
Yeah,
Kegel?
my Kegel.
Yeah.
Let us
My
know in the
Kegel.
chat if you can hear the beagle, the corgi beagle.
I guarantee we've talked about this maybe on the show, but I guarantee that I saw you napping at some point in music school before we knew each other. Because like the
Lovingly across the
Some
communal
music played.
space.
Yeah,
Well, there was
that's
just- there were
basically
just-
what it was.
so many places, like so many like little nooks and like hidden nooks and crannies where you could go like get away from all the people in the music building. And that's where I would go because I was horribly anxiety ridden in school. I just wanted to be away from everybody. And so I would go like try to find those places, and people would be on those couches like sprawled out sleeping.
And it was definitely me. I used to take caffeine naps where I would chug a cup of coffee as quickly as I could and then set my alarm for 20 minutes. And I did it so frequently
insane.
that I could just lay down and put music on and fall asleep for
Wait,
20 minutes.
what does that get you? Why are you drinking the caffeine?
The caffeine will
It,
wake
like,
you
wakes
up,
him up,
and
yeah.
prevent you from sleeping too
By
long.
the time I
Yeah.
wake, I had to stop doing it because I started getting heart palpitations.
Yeah, that would happen.
My brother said, I think you're 32. Fuck. No, I'm definitely 33, I think.
What year were you born?
89?
Well, here's the question: how old's your brother? Oh,
Oh,
He's 38.
damn.
I'm embarrassed.
should
Speaking
be.
of music
that's why
school.
I put you on the spot.
I had a student today that was, he was like, yeah, I was talking to my 16-year-old daughter. She used to take lessons somewhere else and she plays ukulele. And she was like, I just wanted to teach myself. So then he was like, yeah, I told her that you have a master's in music theory. And I was like, okay, that's close enough.
Yeah.
And the daughter goes, what a stupid thing to do. Why would you get a master's in music theory?
How old was she?
16.
Oh wow.
And then he goes, yeah. So she was like, what does he do? And he goes, so like, what do you do? And I was like, I teach and I play in bands and stuff. And he's like, okay, I'll tell her. And I was like, it keeps the lights on. And I got really insecure
Oh,
Yeah.
that sucks.
I hate that.
That's tough.
because I understand like, oh, you fucking went to music school. What do you just
Yeah.
like do drum circles for credit?
And Denton, yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
that's not far off.
Well, that's not well. Okay, yeah.
Because
Okay.
part of me is like, yeah, you're right. That is a fucking stupid thing to do. Like, I got a performance degree in jazz.
But you did it, and you wanted to do it.
But also like the amount that you know about more than like you know about like jazz music, and you also know about like every like part of music history and all that.
Right.
Like the education is much bigger. I actually ended up watching a super long debate today about like where blues came from, and it was like these two people who were debating basically like if it's like 99% from like Western classical music or 90% from Western classical music. And so it was like, it was a really, really interesting like debate. It was very specific, but like the person who was like the music theorist and music like composition person knew so much about like every piece of the science, and it was just like, holy fuck, like that's what music school gets you. And like everybody in the chat was like, shut it, nerd.
You fucking nerd.
Yeah, but I'm like, I find that super cool. That's like really impressive. I don't know how people know that shit. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's just so I get so defensive when people talk about a career in music when they're not musicians.
Yeah, people frequently are like, I'll see like old teachers and they're like, oh, so you're just like a rock star now, right? And I'm like, nope.
No, not at all.
Well, a lot of people are just like, it's not a real job. You're doing what you love, like that kind of
Yeah.
bullshit.
If only that made a fucking difference.
Right.
I mean, it does make a difference, but it's like it's still, I'm not living a rock star life. It's just not the fucking case at all. But whatever.
Adam's a rock star though, and he
is a
does
rock
what he
star.
loves.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently.
Time
He loves
flies
what
when
he
you're
does.
having work.
Uh-huh.
Good job, album.
You're directed by Ryan Johnson.
Yeah.
Is that
Wow.
like supposed to
That's
be
a
like
controversial.
It's a very
shirt.
controversial shirt, yeah.
That was my question. If that's supposed to be a controversial shirt.
Yes.
Okay.
I actually
yeah,
wore it on campus once at UNT, and somebody yelled at me that no, he's not. And I was like, I don't know what that means. But
No, he's not.
No, like he yelled at you, like
Yeah.
you're not directed by Ryan Johnson. You're
maybe
your
that's
own
what he
man.
meant. Maybe that's what he meant. But
he was being encouraging.
he looked like someone who didn't like his movie.
Yeah.
You run your own. What movie did he make?
Well, that's
Well, he's made a lot of great movies.
Yeah, he's made
I
a
don't
lot of
know.
great movies, including the Star Wars one that he made.
that's a reference to
Which
to
people
that
were
one,
mad
yeah.
about.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because they're like, this is the movie that ruined
It's
Star
not just a
Wars.
dirty shirt.
I was about to be like,
Yeah,
hey,
that's
Adam,
fair, yeah.
before we start, you might want to get the dandruff off your shirt.
No, it's part of the shirt.
Because I have to do that personally sometimes.
I do too.
Very brave of you.
Yeah.
But then you didn't say anything.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
I
you
noticed
just-
it was. I actually, if you couldn't tell, I was getting closer to you, so I could sneak peeks when you were talking to Jackson. I was like, "Is that fucking dandruff?" I don't know if the camera picks it up, but holy hell!
No,
Yeah.
it's like the Starfield for the Star Wars movie. That's
Yeah.
what
Yeah, when it does the scroll.
Dave was trying to
does.
look at your tits slyly.
yeah.
My eyes are up
Men,
here,
right?
Yeah,
the male gaze over there.
caught staring at Album's tits again.
I was hanging.
As you do.
I was hanging out with old college friends of ours, Adam, and we
How old? 33
Shut the fuck up.
no, we're all 30.
or 36?
And one of them, an old roommate of yours, in fact, at the very end of the night, decides to say that movie is shit and it's Mary Poppins and blah blah. Blah. And I was like, you can't end the night like this. Like we have to have a conversation.
I
about
know
this.
exactly who you're talking
we
about.
all know. Well, two of us know who
He
you're
gets
talking about.
wildly aggressive out of nowhere about that specific topic, and it's like nobody's talking about Star Wars, and he's like, "Fuck this movie." I'm like,
What
Yeah.
Star Wars movie?
He's who this
The Last
shirt is
Jedi.
made for.
No.
I don't want to talk about Star Wars.
No, yeah, I'm just a small. I was like, you can't. It's 2 a.m. The bar's closing. We're walking to our cars, and that's how you want to close the night out. Is fucking say The Last Jedi is a bad movie. Mary Poppins, blah blah blah. Like fuck off.
Lives
I
rent
will,
free in his head.
I will scream. I will lose it. Like
Well, most of us have moved on. You know,
Yeah,
I just
everybody else-
decided, oh, I liked it or I didn't. And
Right.
then,
Yeah.
well,
And
the people who
everybody-
liked it moved on.
people
the
who-
people who didn't,
yeah,
didn't.
yeah.
Star Wars.
I
Yeah.
thought people moved on just because
Exactly.
like the other movie came out and now we can all hate that one.
Yeah, sure. It's the new year. Does anybody have any?
It was the New Year last week, man.
I know.
But we
It
didn't
wasn't
talk
the
about
New
it
Year
really. Oh,
episode.
the
sure,
official
sure.
new year.
Okay.
The rolling new year. The royal new year. I could keep going, but I'm not going to.
Keep going.
What's the? Do you
Do
guys,
it. Fucking do it.
Do you guys have any New Year's resolutions you guys want to mention on air or no?
I have one.
Go
It's
ahead.
to be less reactive.
Like while you're playing bass, like
No.
only play the notes that you know.
I'm only listening to myself this year. No, it's to like if somebody cuts me off on the road, just go, okay.
That's smart in Texas, man.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's been the thing that's been fucking me up is idiot drivers.
I frequently have to like remind my partner when she's driving, like, hey, look, I know it's frustrating what that person did. It's not worth the anger. You're really angry about it, so it bugs you. And also, like, we're in Texas.
Yeah.
You just never know.
So I've taken to going like, that's okay, friend.
That's your go-to.
Really,
And
really
I'm, like,
pulling out the
get,
Canada.
like a pulse in my neck, like a vein popping out.
That's your hey, fuck you.
Yeah. Hey, great. I'm glad you're on your phone, friend.
I was talking about that, how this was last Friday where I was working with this producer, I'll call him producer, Michael Briggs, friend of the show. And he said something to the bassist and the drummer I was working with, and said, yeah, so we're going to mute the guitar because it was a little loose. And as soon as he said that, I laughed and I said, that's so kind of you. I played the wrong tempo. And he's like, yeah, I was trying to be nice. I was like, I really appreciate that. But like producers do that where they have like it's not a fuck you, but it is like a sly, like, you played poorly.
Yeah.
And like, you know that you're like in with a producer when they actually say like, what the fuck was that?
I worked with someone who the first time I had a bad time working with them. The second time was a better time slightly, but they said the second time
Drums don't play notes.
that was the third time. The second time they said
Yeah, you keep going back.
I don't. It's not my decision. This is the second time. He said, "Man, you sound good this time."
Oh my God.
And then he was like, "Well, that's not what I mean. I mean like it's sounding better." Wait, that's not what I mean either. And he eventually was like, "I should probably just stop." And
Yeah, you're digging a fucking hole.
Everyone else was like, "Yeah, you should probably shut the fuck
At
up."
least he recognized.
Yeah.
So
But see, that would be the less reactive. I go, okay.
yeah.
Try and like let that go, but I can't fucking do it. It's really hard.
I just said thanks, but he I mean, like, I don't really like that kind of stuff. I don't really care about driving on the road. For me, it's a nice release of anger to get I
It's
love
like, you
that.
fucking moron!
Yeah.
Get off your stupid phone!
Yeah, but then I forget about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, then it's gone.
Yeah.
It's a nice just to get it out some way, and then cool. You're gonna probably get in a wreck later, but
I was
hopefully it's just them.
last year I was driving down this road and this guy went out when he shouldn't have. And I could have T-boned him if I wasn't paying attention.
if I really wanted to.
So I held on my horn and was flipping him off.
Wow.
And as I got closer to the guy, I realized that he was a big ass fucking redneck looking dude that probably has a gun in his truck. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I regret this. I need to like check my anger. I shouldn't do this. I'm glad I'm driving to Dallas right now.
Does anybody else have any resolutions? I know none of us really care too much about it.
Yeah, I feel like
you have
we've
one.
mentioned this every year, and we're all kind of like, we don't really care a lot.
Yeah.
I kind of have one. It's I have a more crude way of describing it than this, but the general vibe is more care for myself, which sounds like really broad, but it's like carrying.
You do sound like a broad.
Oh, dude,
Give me them canceled butts.
that's what I was saying. Come on, take it. It's more of like kind of not letting others kind of dictate too much about like my feelings and being more in my own space. And that goes for all like friendships, relationships, especially in music too. Like I had a moment this weekend where there was an issue with the set list that I wrote and it wasn't followed, and then they were trying to fix it on stage, and I had to check myself after the set because I felt really bad. But they started the song, that they skipped a song, started a song they weren't supposed to, and then they stopped the song that they weren't supposed to. Let's play the other one. And I'm like, we're on stage. And they're like, let's play the other one. And I'm like, just play the one you already fucking started.
Don't stop.
And then I like hit my bass drum. Like I was like, just start the fucking song. So I have to. I'm trying to not let that kind of stuff like affect me because So it's not always anger. It's a lot of times not anger, but that was an anger instance.
Quick gig story for me. I showed up to my gig on whatever fucking
Friday.
day it was. Friday. Thank you. See? He knows more about me than I do. Anyway, and the drummer was not the usual drummer, and he goes, "Oh, yeah, okay, cool, we're good." I'm like, "What's up?" He's like, "I didn't even try to learn the songs." And I was like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah, because I thought you'd be on the gig, and you could just help me through the gig."
Wow.
And so I was
Does
like,
that make you feel good? There's a silver lining.
silver lining. So it's like, yeah, okay, I'm capable of doing that, but now I'm playing for two.
Yeah, and you're not getting
it frozen?
paid for two.
Right, and you're aware of it then too.
Yeah. So like,
No, we're good.
I had a talkback mic directly to the drummer. And so I was like, this song starts with 16ths on the hi-hat. Kick it's a backbeat, but the kick pattern's a little different. Mm-hmm. I'll play it once we get there. The entire gig.
That sucks.
And then
You should get paid for his part.
So so I did say I made a dick move, and I was like, "So am I getting half of your pay tonight then?" Or like that. And they were just like, "Ah." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm joking." And I
You
was
laid on the horn and flicked him off.
and he was a big guy. Anyway, so I was like, "You're playing with us next month. We don't have talkback all the time, so you have to learn the tunes." He's like, "Oh, really?" I'm like, "Yes."
Oh wait,
That's
is
also
this
why
the drummer that's
he's
like
getting
the
paid.
really big guy.
No, no, no,
Oh,
not that. No,
okay,
that
okay,
guy's
okay.
that guy's great.
Okay.
I mean, this guy's a great drummer too.
Yeah,
He was
yeah,
super. I was like, all right, coming up 2 bars before the chorus. Give me some In the Air tonight. And he's like, got it.
Adam, is your resolution to go to Ireland for the third time?
Probably not.
Okay.
If so, I won't be using that accent.
What's the over under that? That's the only reason Jackson brought up.
I think that's a cancel buck. Yeah.
That's a cancel buck
Yeah.
for sure. Someone left.
Yeah, that's a good reason to leave.
It's not a resolution for me. It's just more of a like I thought it'd be a fun thing. I'm listening to an album every
Right,
day.
yeah.
And it's not necessarily. It doesn't have to be a new album. I'm trying to keep them as new albums, but not really holding myself accountable to that because for me it was just there are times when I realize that I'll go like weeks without listening to music at all. I'm just listening to podcasts and doing other stuff, and I'm not listening to music at all. So it's been fun so far. We are halfway through January, so talk to me in one of the middle months.
Are you keeping these as a list anywhere?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, literally have it open. It's going to make what I'm listening to really easy.
Yeah, because it's
Yeah.
all right there.
And I already intentionally
You
broke
always
it.
listen to something.
I
Whereas
did.
some weeks I feel like at least one of us is like, well, I didn't listen to anything, but I'll tell you what I listened to last week that I didn't mention.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I did intentionally break, not listen to an album last week to like on purpose. I was like, don't listen to an album today to like make it not a big deal when you do this later.
That's
Like,
good.
just go ahead. The dumb metaphor, but like, getting the first dent in your car or first like something like it's just
Yeah.
like, all right, it's fine.
Yeah.
I've broken it in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
So
I think that's really cool.
new year, new me
Yeah.
for the third time.
New year, new album.
I don't think accents are bad. Not that one, at least. I
it's
wasn't
not good.
doing like a racist accent.
I think it
You've canceled Dave for an Italian accent before.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's because I'm Italian. I can do that. Are any of you guys Irish?
I'm Irish.
Okay.
I think maybe.
I think
I
you're
don't know.
Canadian, actually.
Well, they both have the queen, now the king. So yeah,
Yeah.
that counts.
Next
The
time.
queen, now the king. This is what the libs want, dude.
That's a cancel buck. Is that a cancel buck?
Yeah,
I
no,
think so,
definitely is.
yeah.
Yeah, you've got 3
I want 'em
cancel
all.
bucks.
He's getting them all. Yeah.
I wouldn't give you a cancel luck for that one. That's fine.
I'm actively welcoming them today.
Okay.
I'm getting a whole. You can see
He's
him.
building our merch store just in front of him.
Correct.
That's good.
You're on mute. That's what they say. You're in mute.
Is it?
You're
up, guys? Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
because I'm
Yeah.
yelling?
It's no. It's
you're in mute.
Urine.
I muted my mic. That's what I did.
So we had some things that had come up, while we were on break that we figured, hey, they obviously were hot topics, but we're gonna bring them up. Why not start with the 200 Rolling Stones 200 greatest singers of all time? Did you guys hear about this when this came out?
I did, but only because I saw people being fucking livid about it.
Yeah, right.
I
So
mean,
same.
that sounds about right.
They were specifically on my news feed. They were mad about one specific omission. Do you know who that is?
Was it Celine Dion?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, people were pissed.
that she didn't make the cut.
She's not on this list at
Did you
all.
see that clip that's been going around of her lately where she's singing in some sort of interview and
No.
it sounds like garbage?
Yeah. I mean, like, everybody's got those. Like, all these
Everybody
great
has
singers. Like,
those days.
I bet Freddie Mercury, like, they're not, like, they weren't always recording Queen gigs, but I bet there was a night where Freddie Mercury just, like, had a cold and sounded like shit.
Yeah.
So I'm not shocked.
There's probably some fucking
Dave
like,
doesn't believe that. You
I
can
don't
see
know.
it.
I don't.
There's probably some fucking jackass who was at that show and was like, Freddie Mercury wasn't all that good, guys.
Yeah. One time he was bad.
The night that I saw him, you'll never believe
Freddie
it.
Mercury's overrated. Is Jeff Buckley on the list?
Well,
Don't
let's
know.
see.
I haven't looked at the list. I assume none of us have.
I
Yeah, I
haven't
figured
looked
we
at
were doing the going in blind. like we
Blind
have.
react.
So this 200, they actually did a pretty good job with like how to split this up, where it's like there's 200
yeah.
up here at the top. You can see like the 181. You can kind of flip around. I scrolled
That
through.
UI.
I scrolled through a lot of this, and I was like, there's just a
Is that
like,
Danzig?
Yeah.
That's so
Glenn
fucking funny.
Danzig. He does have a good voice.
If Bob Dylan's
Billie
on here, I'll
Eilish is
scream.
198.
I don't think she's that good of a singer. She's a unique
I feel
singer.
like it's also too early in her career to.
Like she's a
Put her on
good
a list,
singer,
too.
but I don't think she's that good.
I think the problem here, is that we have to open the conversation of like, what is the definite, like, what are the parameters then?
Like Bob Dylan shouldn't be on this.
I guarantee you, Bob Dylan is on this, and
But
he's
he shouldn't-
probably
he
shouldn't be.
He's
I
probably in
agree.
the top 20 because he's famous.
I think
But-
stylistic people could be on here.
But she actually is a she actually is a very talented singer. She has an incredibly like unique
I'm not saying
voice.
that,
but
but
she also like her range is great. She like the way like her pitch is
I
incredible.
don't think I've ever heard her range. She's always whispering.
There's a lot of live footage of her just like going for it. She's like
I believe you.
I understand, like, okay, if you're just taking like her releases into context, then I guess maybe I get it. But like, she's an incredible singer.
I would argue we should only be taking releases. Live albums can count, but like, I would argue that's what matters. That's
Yeah.
what you, at the end of the
That's how
day,
you
that's what
ultimately
100
can
years
judge.
from now,
Yeah.
they'll judge her. And yeah, she's got live.
The only reason I have problems with that.
Videos.
The only reason I have problems with that is that is like that's the it's really easy to fake that shit, you know? Like that's unbelievably fake or easy to fake.
That's
like
a fair point.
You know, and like there's people on this.
Burna
this,
Boy.
This is also
Who's Burna Boy? Do you guys know?
He's
Number
Build-A-Bear's
197.
cousin.
Build-A-Bear's cousin.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Build-A-Bear, Burna
I
Boy.
can't even follow.
Burna Boy is the
that
ambassador
joke.
of
It's
Afrobeats
not really a joke.
as a global movement.
Is it? Oh, so he's genuinely Build-A-Bear's cousin?
I'm being serious, Jackson.
that can feel equally at home climbing the European charts, maintaining a subtle emotional connection with past African genres like high life. I don't know.
I don't know who that is.
Paul Westerberg, the
Don't know who that
Replacements,
is.
from the Replacements. What? How do you say
Polystyrene.
Styrene.
That's a great name.
That is a lot. Yeah.
Kelly
That's a last
Clarkson.
name.
Kelly Clarkson's
Oh,
194.
this is what we did last time,
Yes,
where
it
we
is.
kept like looking at the next one.
One before
Well,
we
there's
get there.
200. We're not going to look at all of them.
No.
No, of course not.
Yeah, so this really confuses my like what the parameters are at Kelly Clarkson's whatever. Okay, fine. What the fuck?
I mean, the parameters are Rolling Stone needed a giant list to spread out over 25 pages.
They're getting clicks,
Yeah.
and like they got
True,
huge
true.
controversy. Let's skip to like 100.
Okay.
After
What, like-
we got through the first 7.
Elton John.
At
Elton
100?
John is 100. That's who they put at 100. I mean, now as an older man who's like, you know, obviously lost
Well,
the like
right, you can't judge them
physical
against that
part.
now.
But like I'm saying, like if you're just looking at that, like yeah, I get it, 100, but like fucking listen to like his records.
I also don't think you give him 100 just because he's older and has a different
No,
has
yeah,
a,
yeah.
like that
I would
doesn't
agree. Yeah.
like you still have your abilities. Your range may be more limited, and you might have like less stamina, maybe. But no, his stamina is still really
This has
good.
got to be like for me at least like top 50.
I gotta know if they had like singers help them with this, and not just like people
They
who like
typically
music.
put
Yeah,
at the
they-
top like
probably
how
not,
they
like
got to it.
contributors.
Yeah, I think they did. Yeah.
I might argue that Kelly Clarkson is a better singer than Elton John.
I mean, like, did Elton John do well on American Idol? I don't think so.
I guarantee. You know, what? I'm just gonna Google Elton John American Idol. John
Okay.
For what?
to see. Like, I guarantee you, he's been on it.
He's on to something.
Yeah, but he
Follow me. I've cracked the code. Nah, nothing's coming up.
Bob Marley is ahead of Elton John.
Bob Marley at
that makes
98.
sense.
That's like
Interesting.
okay. So like, I got to think about this. Bob Marley. I just like he doesn't feel like that unique of a singer. I don't know. Oh yeah, fuck yeah, Usher.
maybe being like a
Sure.
I would put Usher above Elton John easily.
Yep.
I would as well. Yeah, I think
Man, Usher, like, even if you don't like his music, fucking his chops.
he's got a killer.
Did y'all see that NPR Tiny Desk he did? Like, I think it was at the end of last year.
No.
One of the, like, I think that might be top 3 for me.
Damn.
Tiny Desk. It's so good. So good.
Chuck Berry.
Chuck Berry at 96.
I don't think what's a Chuck Berry song? I'm not gonna look. What is it? What's one? Run,
Johnny B.
run,
Good.
Rudolph.
Yeah, Johnny
Run,
Rudolph.
Run, Rhubarb.
Is that him?
I don't know.
I don't know.
But Chuck Berry has a pretty
He liked to videotape people going to the bathroom.
videotape himself going to the bathroom.
Yeah, Run, Run, Rudolph. That is him. Or Run, Rudolph, Run. Vincent
Vicente.
Vicenti.
Fernandez.
I think we hurt Hagen's feelings on that one. Just me.
I think you just didn't.
You hurt my
He was
feelings.
saying you were wrong.
What?
No, I was just saying, like, I don't know who that is.
I don't know who that is either. I just
He just
read it.
right.
Okay. Oh, nice.
Okay. Toots.
I know him
Are we laughing at Toots?
just because of his name.
It's unexpected, you know.
Toots. Great harmonica player named Toots Thielemans.
Is that his actual name, Toots? It is
know.
not.
Reggae pioneer.
His
Are you saying
real
musicians make up names?
And they
Apparently.
choose Toots.
I think I'll make it Toots.
His real name was Frederick Nathaniel Hibbert.
You know what I'd love for my stage name to be? It's fucking Shart. Shart.
That's your stage name.
Shart is my stage
So
name.
you're
yeah.
fart ass. You're Shart.
Shart House Shield.
Shart House Shield.
Shart Shield.
Shart Shield.
It's merchandise.
called
That's
underwear,
my
dude.
next brand. Yeah, Shart Shield. I'm gonna rebrand underwear. Adult diapers are now acceptable. Stevie Nicks.
I can see that she's ahead of Elton John.
I could, yeah. I with these lists, I always feel like we have to see what's coming. But like 93 feels like she should be higher than that. But
Do you think Stevie Nicks? Do you think Stevie Nicks is overrated?
no?
Overrated by who? Just everybody?
I don't know.
Jackson said nothing.
He didn't say anything.
Chewing it over with a Twix.
Nice.
Sponsored.
Are we?
Yep.
Are you?
Anita Baker.
That's
cool.
Anita Baker, 92.
This guy is like, I have a hand. I have hands.
Oh, dude. Have you guys ever listened to him? No, and I'm being genuine. Have you ever listened to him?
No, I'm more
It's
focused on.
Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan.
I'm more focused on Dave's analysis of the
It
picture.
looks like he's going,
Yeah.
I have hands. I have hands.
I'm waiting for Jackson to be like, oh, he's blind, and Dave is making fun of him.
No, I don't know enough
For the-
about
for our-
him.
for our
so
audio,
Jeff Buckley,
yeah.
it
Yeah.
says right in there, but like Jeff Buckley and his live at Shanae, that like coffee house record he has, there's a part where he does a cover of this, and I think this guy is an Indian performer, and so he's not speaking English, and it is that kind of, you know, what you would probably think as a Western listener, Indian style music, which I understand. Like I really don't know that, so that's a blind spot for me for sure. But he does a cover of it, and Jeff Buckley kills it. And he's like, "This guy is like my Elvis," which they say
Yeah, that's
right
what-
there,
yeah.
and. Just like I remember going and listening to him afterwards, the Nusrat, and I was just like, holy shit, I totally get it. It's like phenomenal. Dude can sing like no other, better than Jeff Buckley.
So
And Jeff Buckley's
he should
gonna be, like,
higher
number
than
10.
91. is what we're
Maybe.
Yeah.
Gal Gadot.
Yep.
Imagine all the people. Selena.
Celine, anything for Selena's.
Well.
I quoted the movie. Quoted the movie.
But you didn't accent, and as far as the logic for this episode, pure logic, just facts. Fuck your feelings.
Okay.
Okay. You guys want to skip to maybe 10 and do the last 10?
Let's
Let's
do
do like
like
the last
50. Let's go to
20
50.
I'm gonna
or
go.
the
I'm
last
gonna,
50.
I'm gonna go to 40 because that's where I can click.
There
You guys
go.
seem upset. Like that.
Well,
were you
we-
guys wanting to?
We got to go through more than just 20 of the 200.
Well, I'm down to skip around, but I wanted to not just.
We can, keyword search after we get through the top 10.
That's fair.
Louis
Yeah.
Armstrong is 39.
I mean, so here's a good example of like unique singer, Louis Armstrong.
Yeah.
Unique singer. But like, I don't know what I've heard of him. It's not like he's got the range of, like Billie Eilish.
Yeah, but range doesn't define like talent.
You're right.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah. Moving on.
I mean, these lists also do tend to put people higher if they've had a longer career, generally speaking,
Or if they've had
they
like a
were
more
earlier in that
yeah,
genre, and
more
they were
influential career. Yeah. Curtis Mayfield,
Amazing.
Van Morrison,
Dickhead.
All right.
Yeah. He's a
Dickhead.
dickhead.
Kurt Cobain.
That's weird.
This
No,
list,
this
this
is
is getting
another.
into the
This
this
is
list
another.
is fucking chalked, dude. This is dog shit.
Kurt
Let's get
Cobain
into
is
the
another.
influence aspect, though.
Yeah. He's another like style.
You gotta
over
put him up-
like range.
Is flat a style?
Could be. Could
It
be.
inspired a lot of people.
To sing flat?
Yeah.
God. See, that's where I'm gonna draw a line of like that's not that has to be part of like being a good singer. Yeah, unless that was an intentional thing, which maybe it was.
Tuning?
But yeah,
Yeah, of course
Yeah,
that has to be a
yeah.
part of being a good singer.
Yeah. Okay. Dusty Springfield,
Who's that?
brassy and sexy and funny and sad. What a funny
Okay.
opening.
Wait, what? I only want to be with you?
Is that Tom York? What
Oh,
a
it is.
fucking shit picture. That is the most. It was like whenever Trump was president, and like you know how like
They
when you
used the
see
worst photo
Yeah.
of him for everything. Yeah.
and that was the media's like sly way of being like, we fucking hate this guy.
Yeah.
We have to report on him,
Yeah.
but fuck him.
Dude, that's a sick burn. The wounded falsetto that launched 1,000 Chris Martins.
He was like quoted recently that he was saying like, I fucking hate like Spotify's algorithm. It keeps recommending Muse's new record to me. I was like, God damn,
Tom York said that?
that's so mean.
That's so
That's-
funny.
that's
They're not
mean to
exactly
say.
contemporaries, but they're not exactly not. So
Yeah.
that's really mean. Just when I thought like, oh, Tom York's married and happy and he's nice now, and I kind of don't like nice Tom York.
No, he's not
I saw
nice.
that and I was like, oh man, some things you just
unhinged.
can't change.
Let's see. Bessie
Bessie
Smith,
Smith,
number
nice.
33. David Bowie, number 32.
Boo, that guy sucks at singing.
Did David Bowie, I think we've talked about this before, but did David Bowie
did
say
die.
Bowie or did he say Bowie?
Bowie.
He said
He's
said
definitely
Bowie.
said both.
He
but-
said
He said Bofi.
Bofa. David Bofa.
what's Bofa?
Both of these singers.
Both of these pronunciations.
Moving on.
Someone in the chat said Lane Staley from Alice in
Someone
Chains.
in the chat.
Better be top 30. Someone in the chat.
Someone in the chat.
That's my brother. That's my brother.
Luther Van
Vandross.
Yeah. Velvet Voice. Hank Williams, number 30.
Okay.
Chaka
Shaka
Khan.
Khan.
Ugh,
Mahalia Jackson.
I'm bored.
Dolly Parton.
Dolly Parton. Number 27. Paul McCartney, number 26.
Okay.
Mary J. Blige, 25. That's good. That's a good.
George
Yeah,
Jones.
George Jones,
Who's
24.
George Jones?
Country singer.
Yeah, like a
Yeah, we
very
would- we
big
wouldn't know.
establishing country singer. Smokey Robinson, 23. Adele,
Adele?
22.
Adele?
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 This one feels weird.
Why?
I don't know.
Why?
It's both
You think she
too
should be
high and
below
not
Billie
high
Eilish?
enough.
No.
She's
no.
definitely probably like the best singer of that. Like, I'm trying to think of like, when did 21 come out? Like
I don't know.
early 2010s? Like, definitely the best of that crew. It's like her and Florence Welch.
And Amy Winehouse.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is gonna be one of those things where I feel like you win because you can belt, and that's a toughie for me.
Well, I mean, she's a real great singer considering what
Yeah.
her speaking voice sounds like.
That's true. Well, I mean that
Maybe that's its own award.
that goes to
He meant accent. He didn't mean voice. He meant accent.
accent, yeah.
but that goes to show
Of
that
course.
But like, but how different like someone's speaking voice is to their singing voice. That's a worthy thing to like judge.
What about
somebody
their
on for that.
whisper voice?
That's
Is that
that's a
indicative
different-
of their
different list.
range?
He's so hung up on Billie Eilish.
Yeah, I don't think she should be on the list.
Even at 199 or whatever it was.
I think
think it was like- yeah,
I think
yeah.
I think I'm gonna just be a triggered asshole for the rest of this list because this is what I studied a lot. I spent a lot of time doing this thing. So
At the end of the day, I don't care about the list, like in the sense of like I see why you feel that way. It makes sense to me. But for me, I don't care about it because like I'm super like I do like classically trained voices, but then I also like stuff where it's just like the singer of the Mountain Goats is like very like he's got a very specific style of singing, and I don't think he's a bad singer, but like I get why people don't like it. So for me, I'm just like, oh, I don't need validation.
No. I don't need validation. It's that the problem that I have is that the criteria in which we're judging these voices is just way too. It's way too broad, and
It also has a lot to do with like some of these like top one, like Adele is super high up because she has so many hits. Like if she had one hit and had the same amount of records, she wouldn't be there.
I think that it does make sense that she's high. I like there's definitely a part of it where it's like I feel like there's something, but to be fair, like her speaking voice, like her accent, and then the way that she sings, it's very much like.
I don't think the accent should have to play into it.
No. This is like diction. Diction is a huge part of singing.
Sure. Yeah.
That's the whole like. So
But like
that proves
in singing school, you have to take a phonetics class, something like that, where you have to learn like, oh, if I'm singing a Japanese song, I need to know how to like actually sing these.
Right, we take diction classes, so we learn about like the phonetic alphabet.
Yeah.
And we can like write all that kind of shit down. But like to know how to approach singing with good diction is a skill. So I guess that's more of a reason to put her high too, because that's something that I focus on a lot with a lot of my students is like your diction, clarity in words and how you say them is like one of the most important things, and also saying it in a way where you can actually sing the vowel properly. She definitely has really good diction, so that's fair. Nina Simone, that's good.
That's good.
Yeah.
21.
Marvin Gaye.
Frank Sinatra, 19. Yeah, that's good.
I feel like it makes sense.
Yeah.
Celia
Celia
Cruz.
Cruz.
Celia Cruz.
I don't know. It looks like maybe someone important. I don't know. Yeah.
Hold on a second.
Elvis at 17. Interesting.
That's the age he likes.
True.
It's not. That's a bit too old for him.
Yeah.
Prince. Range. Talk about range.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Bob Dylan.
God,
There it is.
fucking
What
There it
the
is.
fuck? Are
Called
you
it.
serious?
To some listeners, Bob Dylan's voice, especially the wheezy and or aggressively twangy strains to be favored in his early years, will always sound like a caricature of itself.
If Rivers Cuomo isn't number one, I'm going to scream.
But the confidence with which he owned his ugly duckling delivery and shaped into something expressive as his wildly inventive lyrics
Didn't have
has
to call
made
him
him
ugly.
one of America's great vocal eccentrics.
Did he own it, or did he just think he was good?
Yeah, I don't
He
know.
just doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah. Freddie Mercury.
Freddie
14.
Mercury.
Wow.
Okay.
14.
At least,
wait,
I mean,
wait,
above
who's
Bob
going to be
Dylan.
above him? Like,
Patsy Cline.
thank you. John Lennon above Freddie Mercury.
Yeah,
I just don't agree with that.
That's wrong.
Yeesh. Oh, that's a fucking yikes. Little Richard.
Incredible.
Yeah.
That's fine. Al Green.
I get that.
Otis Redding. Yeah. Beyonce,
I'm
number
shocked
8.
she's not in the top 5.
Yeah,
She has an incredible
I think
voice,
she
too.
should be like 1.
definitely in top 5. Yeah, Stevie Wonder 7.
Wait, who do we think is going to be number one? Ray Charles hated his voice.
Well,
Well,
unfortunately,
unfortunately for him, everybody
Rolling
else
Stone
likes it.
fucking loved it.
I genuinely do not know who's going to be number 1. Genuinely, I do not know. It's going to be like Ringo.
Ringo. I wonder if
It's
Ringo's
gonna be
on this
Ring-
list.
No, of course not.
If Bob Dylan is, Ringo should be.
Billie Holiday number 4.
Aretha Franklin or somebody's going to be number 1.
Sam Cooke number 3.
Yeah, that's a good guess.
Whitney
Whitney
Houston
Houston.
number 2, and our number 1,
Which I think the street.
Aretha.
Fuck!
Yeah, damn.
It's not Rivers Cuomo. What the fuck?
This list is fucking bullshit.
Type in Lane Staley
I'll take one of these back.
because I was
Because
right.
you were right. Yeah.
How do I get one of those back? I want it back.
Wait, you want it back?
You gotta
No,
do
I'll get
more
it, I'll
accents.
get it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay,
you gotta.
okay.
He's gotta earn it.
Wait, what do you want me to do? What,
Control F Lane
Well,
Staley.
that's only gonna search.
Lane
it's
Staley.
only gonna search in the 40.
Will it only do that?
Yeah,
E
L-A-Y.
L A Y.
Go to the.
I bet he's not on the
if
list.
you go to the first page and do reader mode, it should search.
Chris
all of them, I
Cornell.
think.
That makes
80.
sense.
I think he should be on the list. What did you say, album?
I was saying that if Hagen goes to the very first page and you search,
Oh, I like going
search
on
for
this. I
reader
like going
mode.
on this hunt. This is fun.
Who would you all put as your number one? For me, it would definitely be Freddie Mercury.
Either Freddie Mercury or Jeff Buckley.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, we didn't
Jeff
see
why Jeff
on there.
Buckley? I'm shocked.
I'm
that
sure
he wasn't.
I'm sure he's on the list, but we didn't.
But
get-
we went through like the top 30.
Yeah.
Wow.
So far, nothing.
My brother said Lane Staley has higher range than Mariah Carey. I don't think that's true.
He was very high.
So
That
where is
true.
Dave Grohl on this list?
Nowhere. Shouldn't be anywhere. Nope, not on the list at all.
Dave Grohl.
No,
Lane Staley's
Lane
not on that
Staley.
list.
Yeah, not on the list.
Again,
at all.
Bob Dylan is the one that really Bob Dylan's a shit
Being
singer.
up that high too.
Yeah.
And Celine Dion wasn't there. That
Okay.
one, like I'm part of the crew now.
Uh-huh.
You did it. Now you're upset. Now you should have to tweet about it.
I know the songs. Yeah. So like, yeah. Who would be y'all's number one?
I think Freddie. 1 or 2.
Yeah.
I think
like-
it's surprising how far down he was.
I think like him and Beyonce. I think I those are probably competing for number one for me.
Yeah.
If you had to pick like one of each, like like male and female.
Freddie Mercury would probably be number one, but I'm drawing a blank on a couple others that were like
Ariana Grande.
I'm surprised she wasn't in that top like 30 that we looked at. I mean, like Ian Gillan is a stupid good singer, but
Who's that?
he's from Deep Purple. He's like insanely insane. They used him for like a lot of tests on Broadway as well. So like he was very, very next level in his range and ability to sing different styles and stuff. But I think Freddie Mercury would have to be 1 or 2.
Like Haley Williams.
Haley Williams would probably be like
Top 50.
somewhere on
the list. If I could just spell her name, I would control F it. I just don't know. I can't follow it. Yeah. So another list. Thank you, Rolling Stone, for that pure podcast content.
Yeah, Rolling
Yeah.
Stone. That was the worst list, but thanks for it. Oops, I just opened my calendar, guys. Sorry, 1 second.
Does it have Dave's
Why-
calendar on
wait,
there too?
Fuck. Yeah. He beat me to it. Why do you have Dave's schedule on there? Damn it.
I'm gonna Google if Lane Staley had a higher range than Mariah Carey.
This is a sibling rivalry at
Yeah.
this point. Phone a friend.
Yeah, phone Google.
We had another the other thing that we were did anybody have any hot takes on the singing list before we move on? Are you guys going to be like triggered when like your respective instrument comes up, like drums, bass?
No.
I just I try to always look at singing from a different angle than like my education, but it's really hard to a lot of the times. Like we've talked about like the different singers that I like multiple times, stuff like that, and like why I don't like Black Midi, for example, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But with lists like that, and I think I've mentioned it before with other lists or other things we talked about, where I feel like I definitely I'm curious to see. I guess I can check now, but like if there was like a trained singer of any kind on who like helped with that list, because I think that has to make some kind of a difference. Like the people, there are experts for a fucking reason, right? Like there are people who know a lot about topics, and they're supposed to like they exist for a reason. So why not try to use that
but
resource?
That would be journalism, and we don't do that anymore.
I could
guess.
see that Rolling Stones or even Pitchfork for this matter would say, but the point is that if they're a great singer, then someone who's not educated about it should be able to tell.
Right, should be able to pick them anyway.
That would be their argument. I'm not saying that's like, there's no holes in that.
Wait, yeah, there's okay, yeah,
But I also see it the opposite
Yeah.
way of like, I don't think that the training matters
No,
entirely.
it doesn't matter in the sense of if someone is a good singer or not. it definitely gives you a different perspective on the making the list. That's what I mean. I'm not saying that every great singer has to be a trained singer or, you know, what, but if you have like that other perspective, you have the expert's perspective that definitely can help form the list. Doesn't have to be all experts. It can
Or
be
maybe
one
even
person,
help
right?
order it more to make more sense.
Or
Yeah.
even just like you know, give a different perspective on some singer. Like, hey, like Bob Dylan obviously had a huge impact on music, but was Bob Dylan really a good singer? Like,
Yeah, he was the
that's
greatest.
not the greatest.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
he-
a little better than John Lennon.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the record, Lane Staley's highest note recorded was a C5, while Mariah Carey's was a G7.
Yeah.
Nice.
C5 is the like go-to tenor note. If you can hit that, then you're a good boy tenor.
Good boy, tenor. Now, Lane Staley probably had lower range than Mariah Carey,
Yeah, for sure.
I would say.
Bold take.
Yeah, thanks.
Jesus.
All the cancel bucks.
I don't think that's a cancel bug. I just
Hey, if you want it, you can have it.
I wonder where Axl Rose was on that list.
Nowhere.
Because
Not
he
at-
has a
not
crazy
present.
range.
Yeah, he does have a crazy range, but also he has a that's one of those voices for me. I'm like I can't stand his singing because it's too. I don't know if it's nasally or what it is. Like it's just very shrill.
that's actually one of those voices where you like age affected it because he did things wrong, not just because of age. Like if you
Dave
listen,
Grohl too.
Yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely.
I had someone had a student talking about Dave Grohl. Like, are you like they announced stuff like live stuff? Are you gonna try to go see them? And I'm like, yeah. Like the best of you live is awesome. It's like, no, it's not.
No, it's actually far too long and not great.
And he
says
he's-
the best.
He says the bad. He goes like super duper flat every single time. He's just like screaming to try to hit that note.
That's got to be depressing.
I mean,
He's doing his best.
and everybody likes it. Everybody's there for it. And the crowd isn't like, boo, you're flat. Like that's
No,
not.
at that point, it's the emotion.
Yeah.
I will say, I don't know if we said this last week, but like that was my favorite thing about the Smile concert. Because when we saw, you know, Radiohead, Hagen and I, like they're playing songs from the 90s. Tom York's not a, 20-year-old anymore.
Right.
I don't know if he was 20 in the 90s. But, what's great about seeing them live on the Smile record is they're only playing the stuff that has been curated for his voice now. And I was like, this is great. This is what I want to hear. Like, it's great to hear some of those like early songs, but it was also like he's had to, you could tell he's kind of having to back off on some things. Definitely not in a Dave Grohl way though.
No.
Yeah. That's
It was a real
toughie.
real treat to hear his voice live.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's my favorite thing is when vocalists voice, like when they age gracefully. I love it so much.
It feels so rare
It
too.
mostly
Yeah.
comes down to genetics.
Yeah,
That's
of
like,
course.
That's pretty much where it comes down to. So it's like
it's like if you're going to go bald or something. It's just like,
well, like
you can do some things, but for the most part, no.
you can like it's baldness, and it's also like I like lately I've been thinking a lot about skincare, which is so fucking boring. But
It's too late, man. You're 33 and a third. It's too late.
But like helping with wrinkles and like bags under eyes and stuff like that, and certain things you can do to help, but you're just gonna get them. At some point, it's just like something's gonna happen, right? And with your voice, some people have like that like will just sound good forever. Paul McCartney's an example of that. Paul
Yeah.
McCartney just his range is the exact. I don't know if it's the exact same, but he can still sing really high. He
Ozzy
can
Osbourne, too.
Yeah, Ozzy still has a
Which
crazy voice.
doesn't make sense, but like
I
good
agree
for him.
with
Like,
Ozzy.
That's genetics.
Yeah.
That's like that he was like those, because there's people who smoke cigarettes, do drugs their entire life, and still have a great voice, and that is pure fucking luck.
I hated that shit. Seeing like singers around Denton, like jazz singers, chain smoke and then go like perform super well. And I would do all these things of like, don't drink caffeine the day of a show, don't do this, don't do that.
Yeah.
Like, try to have a vocal rest day if you can, and then going up there and just sounding like fine. Not
Yeah,
great,
right.
but fine.
Yeah.
I hated that.
Yeah, there was definitely a lot of I don't know, but yeah, so
Playing music.
yeah,
There's a lot of it.
David Bowie's voice around
Yeah.
the end of his life is like beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, I think that
Johnny
goes back
Cash.
too, though. If you're writing stuff that leans into it,
Yeah.
it's
yeah.
a lot easier to avoid like that because Bowie wasn't touring his old songs at that point either.
Yeah,
Well, that's
they
a-
probably
like-
would
that's
have
true.
not sounded
So
great.
Dashboard Confessional, it's mainly just one guy, but it is a band. But like the singer, Chris
Something
Cabrera,
Cabrera, yeah.
he definitely like he went a bit too hard on his voice, and he's lost it now. Like, and not lost it. He can still sing, but it's different.
That
And-
whole era of like emo, like high belting vocalists.
yeah,
Yeah, they're not aging well.
that's 100% true. But he released a record, or they released a record, I think it was like 2016, and it was very much trying to chase that like old Dashboard, and I was just like, this is really rough to listen to. It's like hard as a listener. Like the song writing was good, but I was like, I can't listen to this. It's hard.
Yeah.
And then he released a record last year, and I put it off. Like, I didn't listen to it last year. I listened to it like maybe a week ago, and when I listened, I put it off because I was so nervous. I was like, it's just so hard to listen to him struggle through these things.
Yeah.
And listen to it, and he wrote for his voice, and I was like, yes. And it sounds amazing. It's a great record. I was
Yeah.
like, that's what you got to do. It sucks. I mean, that's aging though in every facet, not just your voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got one more hot take. I've worn Hagen down with this, the 200 singers list. Now we're going to talk about.
I'm not worn down.
I'm ready, baby.
I could do this all day.
Y'all seen this Nepo Baby list? The Nepotism Baby, Adam?
Well, have you seen
I
have you
haven't
seen
seen
the
the
fucking
list, but-
hype and drama and all, and everyone fucking talking about
That's
it?
all I'm talking
my,
about.
My wife said Nepo Baby, and I didn't know what she was talking about while we were on our trip recently, and I had to have that explained to me. And I was like, so everybody just discovered that nepotism is a thing
Well,
in
over the
Hollywood?
fucking fuck.
It was discovered for a specific reason. But go ahead, Jackson.
But over the
Yeah, that backstory is what I didn't
Yeah,
have.
yeah.
I
Over
don't
the
have that backstory.
over the holiday break, I felt like every person I was around kept mentioning Nepo Baby. And it was like just everyone was frothing for this. And I was like, first of all, you guys just found out about this. Second of all, who gives a shit? Like,
Yeah.
of course. Before we get into it, like, we can go through some of the people on the list. I don't care if we do that or not.
Yeah, I have it pulled up if we want to look at it. But
My thing on it is more like, okay, so I totally like think like, yeah, of course it would be idiotic for you to not use your connections. And that's not like, for me, as I understand it, that's not what like privilege and nepotism is necessarily about, is saying like, oh, I can't use this. It's more about recognizing it and using your point of privilege to be able to help others and like be able to
Yeah.
use it in a positive way.
well, we don't like the people who are born into like the nepotism position, like they obviously didn't choose that position, and if they want to
Correct, yeah.
follow that path of like or an entertainment path or whatever, just like their parents did, then definitely use that to help you.
Right, it's easier for them to do that then.
Yeah. The and it's like the part that makes sense but is a little bit of a bummer is that it is all over the place. Like everybody's related to, not everybody, but a lot of people are related to somebody who's also in the industry. But
Well, and that's not even special to Hollywood
Yeah,
either.
exactly.
Like that's
Yeah.
very common in politics and government,
yeah,
for example.
But there's some of these that are reaching. But so Dave, you said you didn't know the backstory as to why this came out.
No.
So Johnny Depp's daughter, I believe, recently came out and was like, "I'm famous for my own merits, not because Johnny Depp is my dad."
That's very funny.
yeah.
it's-
And so
was that not meant ironically?
it was not. No.
Huh.
She was like
too bad.
very, very serious about it. And
So like there are a ton of musicians on this, and that's why we're talking about it. Because so for me, so the big one is always Taylor Swift. That's the one that always is coming up. There's more than that, but like that's the big
Yeah.
one right now. The Strokes
Well,
are that.
Vampire
Weekend.
Isn't that her dad is a record producer kind of guy or whatever, money guy?
I think
right?
he's just mega rich.
right.
Yeah, so
that can be one angle
that's-
of nepotism. Is it's not my parent was a famous singer. Like
to me, those ones are the reaching ones. So there's one on like
I totally get it.
Yeah.
No, that one I don't think is reaching.
Yeah,
There
yeah.
is a specific one that is totally reaching, I'll mention. But like with Taylor Swift, it's not reaching because and also all this stuff that I'm saying where I'm like, who gives a shit? Like
Yeah.
I don't want anyone to think I'm, empathizing the mega rich. I'm not. And I'm not saying that at all. All like Taylor Swift's art is still great. She just never had to worry about rent.
right.
It's that
right.
song.
It's that whole thing about it's easier to do the thing you want to do if you don't have to worry about paying rent or or
Right.
making ends meet at all.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
that song by Pulp, Common People. You guys know that song?
No.
Okay, so the whole song is called Common People. It's a great song. Probably one of the best Britpop songs that's ever come out. And the whole conceit of it is like, oh, he meets this girl who's like, her dad's super rich. And she's like, I want to live like the common people. And he goes through and he's like taking her through this whole narrative of, oh, I'm going to, you know, take her to the grocery store. I'm going to do all this stuff. You're going to pay for my drinks, you know. You want to be like common people. I don't give a shit. You're going to pay for me regardless of that. But then at the end of the song, he says, but you'll still never get it right because when you're laid in bed at night watching roaches climb the wall, if you called your dad, he could stop it all.
Right.
Right.
That's the whole idea here is that like, like her, like Taylor Swift and anyone on this list, Jaden Smith,
Yeah.
doesn't mean that they haven't released great music or Willow Smith. It just means that they've never truly had to worry about like
Yeah.
And it
paying
doesn't
rent.
it doesn't mean they don't have hard lives at some
No.
points in their
No.
lives. Yeah.
It's yeah. For me, there's like a couple of these. Like the one I know, there's one on the list that I can find that I can't remember if it's a musician or not, but there's one on a different list that I have pulled up. That's a singer. Her name is Samia, and she's like this really great indie pop singer, and her dad is the CEO of Top Golf, and I'm like, well. I don't know if that's really like.
I think that makes sense because it's the funding because like
yeah.
I mean,
The
that's
Strokes,
the
like-
case, but that's going to be the case with anyone at some certain point. Like the
was
idea
that
of
Samia or was that
a
something?
common thing with like people who have kids is they're like, you know, I'm doing all these things to better my child's
Well, like,
life,
It was
right?
Claro. It was Claro.
To
Well-
clarify.
Leah Seydoux is that actress who is like in like all these indie movies right now, but she's part of the Seydoux family, which is like a like billion-dollar family.
Sure.
None of them have ties to the movie industry, but when you're
Yeah.
like an heiress of billions of dollars,
Yeah,
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
things help you get in
That's
like
nepotism.
in the front door. It is nepotism. I'm not saying it's not. And those are just my reaching examples where it's like
I get.
when you-
Wait.
Those
I-
are just less clear than like
like a
someone
lot
who's-
of
I
these,
get what you guys are saying now.
Yeah.
I'm conflating privilege with nepotism
Yeah.
right
Well,
now.
a lot of
I
these
mean-
nepotism examples are like you used like the Jaden Will Smith example. Jaden Smith especially. Like Will Smith is like, "Hey, little boy son, come be in this movie with me." Instantly as he's like
Yeah.
just a little kid. Like
The
it's
pursuit
like
of happiness.
Yeah, yeah.
that,
it's
that's
like,
very clear example of nepotism.
and not to say that it was like bad acting or a bad movie or anything, but like that is like, hey, I'm making this movie that I want to have like a little boy in. My son is that little boy. Let's do it. Or maybe he was like, the son was like, I want to do it.
You know who's on this list that really pisses me off?
Who's that?
Phoebe Bridgers.
Oh yeah, that one's a reaching one too, isn't
It's
it?
super reaching
Yeah.
because you know what it is. It's her dad. Her dad was, so people should feel fucking bad about this now because he died like last week. He was a like a set
right.
builder.
Yeah.
Like he worked on movie sets, so they were saying like, yeah, you know, she definitely was able to like meet people that way. And it's like he was just working like building sets. He wasn't like the set
that's
designer,
the
nothing like that.
working.
And
Yeah.
so like the hot takes were like on Twitter and stuff.
That's basically
like,
saying if you grow up in LA that it's nepotism.
Exactly.
Like even if your
Yeah.
parents are like janitors.
So and like I have people were saying like with Phoebe Bridgers, she hasn't been singing about her deadbeat dad for years just to get put on the Nepo baby list.
Right.
Right.
And then
Yeah.
literally like a week after this list comes out, he died. And I was like, damn, imagine those like emotions of being like super frustrated by that and then him dying and being like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that just completely unfair. But like it's just the whole thing's silly. I mean, like I got my first job out of college. My dad knew people and got me in the door. Definitely nepotism.
nepotism.
Yeah,
100%.
Definitely nepotism. But at the end of the day, I got myself the job.
Yeah.
I didn't get that job because the people knew my dad. I got in the door because they knew my dad.
Right.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have hired me if I didn't, know my shit. And I totally get that was nepotism.
Yeah.
And I'm not ashamed of that at all.
For a job and not a creative outlet, though, that's different. Because
Right.
like you don't have to do a good job making an album for you to get an album paid for by a record executive if your dad is friends with him or whatever.
Right.
But
Yeah.
the difference is like
You won't get to make another one, I guess. But
before I knew what nepotism was, I used to daydream about like if I won $1 million, I would just go on tour and I would build a studio.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like if I were born into a rich family, I would already have a
you
leg
would have
up.
done that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, you sound like my good friend Rivers Cuomo. Truth is, I don't stand a chance. It's something that you're born into, and I just don't belong.
The list that is like
Beverly Hills.
Beverly Hills.
the list that most people are using to look at this is the list that Vulture put together, which is like a really like it has like all these like graphs and shit. But my favorite part, it's not music related, but it has Tom Hanks and Colin Hanks, and it conveniently leaves out his dog shit son Chet Hanks, who has a music career. Like,
It's just for me, it's all very silly and like it's accurate. Like there are nepotism babies here.
Yeah.
But like what sucks for me is that like this is looking like it's so well put together. Like this is a good looking article. But then like I had so many people, like I mentioned Phoebe Bridgers one night over the holiday and somebody said, Nepo baby. I was just like, okay, it's very frustrating
sucks.
that like
Yeah,
people
yeah.
see something and they didn't like kind of dig into it. It's just like,
especially when it comes down to like we've been saying, put your foot in the door most of the time. It's like the is her name Lily Depp? Lily Rose Depp, is that her name?
Yeah.
Like she started this whole thing because she's like saying that I can do this on my own, but like everybody else is like I had, well, not everybody, but a lot of them like I had help. Like you, like Jackson, you saying that like I had help. I did it on my own, like when I got there, but I had help getting to that point.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of these people would say the same thing. It's like there's a lot of great fucking performers and musicians on the list,
Right.
and they like clearly they just got the help to get to the point where they could, do all that stuff.
Like
It's
a
just
lot of these
crazy.
could stand on their own.
well, and we've
Whereas
talked.
Johnny Depp's daughter, maybe I don't know what she does. I don't know
Yeah.
if she's known
She's
for
an
anything.
actor.
Yeah,
Someone who can stand on their own. I think two people. I think of this is a weird one, but Emilio Estevez is
Yeah.
related to
Yeah.
all the Sheens.
yeah.
And
Nicolas
chose
Cage.
Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage is a good one.
Yeah.
Because he
But Jason
flat out
Bonham.
changed his name to be like, I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
want nepotism.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the
Jason Bonham.
Jason Bonham's a good one
The
too.
Jason
yeah.
Great
Bonham,
example of
and then also Wolfgang Van Halen.
Yeah.
Like,
Like-
that's a killer example.
every person who's related to Bob Marley.
Yeah, yeah.
That, like
yeah.
I swear, there's always some type of like mid-level venue that has a Marley, like I guess nephew or son
yeah,
playing.
yeah. No, it's
Same thing with
Dweezil Zappa.
Dweezil Zappa. Yeah,
Yeah.
and like
nothing wrong with it. That's life.
I know that the Slipknot kids, like all their kids, they have a band.
I did think that was funny though, because some of them are wearing masks. I
Yeah,
saw
they're-
some clip the other
It
day.
sounds
Corey Taylor's on the side stage, like, yeah.
it sounds like early Slipknot, and they definitely got their foot in the door because of their parents.
Yeah.
But like, it sounds good. Like
Yeah.
they're young kids doing that, and
They're-
same thing with James Hetfield's son.
If you're not successful, you're gonna disappear and nobody's gonna remember you.
yeah,
Well,
Yeah.
what's weird to me is like, let's think about like someone like Gerard Way, who's like famous, but not like
Yeah.
ultra mega famous. If Gerard Way, one of his children, got famous in, like 10 years, they would be on this list. And like, that starts to get in this really gray area where people aren't going to think about it. It's going to be like whenever I said Phoebe Bridgers and that person said Nepo baby. It's going to be one of those gray areas where, yeah, Gerard Way probably helped. But like, there's also that you have to keep in mind, like every parent, all they want to do is make the best for their child. So of course they're going to open every door they can.
yeah.
Right.
And we're punishing the children who didn't choose that. It's just like, there are certain situations like Maya Hawke said like, oh yeah, I'm not famous because my mom or my dad or my mom's Uma Thurman.
And
Yeah.
Ethan Hawke.
And yeah,
Yeah.
she said that and she's like, you're fucking crazy.
Yeah.
You have to be self-aware about it.
Yeah. Well,
That's different. Those people, it's like, yeah, you're definitely not aware. But like, there are situations where it's like, yeah, of course these people are nepotism babies, and that's fine.
the Ben Platt example is one that I found interesting because it's like his dad is a producer who put him in movies.
Yeah.
But then he went and got Dear Evan Hansen. And who knows if his dad pushed that for him, but it's like Ben Platt established like this really big role now.
Wasn't
his dad
wasn't
also
known
was-
before that.
Dad was the producer on the movie.
Yeah, was the producer
Yeah.
on the movie, which
Yeah.
I know people were real mad about.
Yeah, yeah. Which is
But,
like, yeah.
but it's coming out of the shadow of nepotism. So outshining the reason that you were put in the spotlight in the first place.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
just weird. I mean,
Like Rashida
Jones,
Rashida
yeah.
Jones. Yeah.
Yeah.
Her dad's batshit crazy. I love it. He's like
Yeah.
the limelight of his life is beautiful.
Yeah.
Batman doesn't give a fuck. He'll just say whatever.
I thought
Yeah.
you said Batman doesn't give a fuck. And I was like, Batman doesn't give a fuck. That's true.
You know what? That's true, Jackson.
Batman, also nepotism.
At the end of the day,
Good job.
Also nepotism.
Batman's a Nepo baby. Holy shit.
I'm not empathizing with the mega rich. I'm just also like, I think my frustration stems from the actual like people seeing a list like this and just not like critically thinking a little bit about it. Or
Yeah.
not. I guess not critically thinking is the wrong thing. It's
Seeing the clickbait title, "The Year of the Nepo Baby," and just running with it.
Yeah, and not
Yeah.
like, reading up on it. You see your favorite artist. Let's say like Maya Hawke is your favorite actor and like you love her music as well. And
Yeah.
you're like, this bums me out. Do a little research. See if you actually agree with the fervor.
Yeah, there's definitely a thing here where because it's celebrities and the mega rich, it's easy to say fuck you. It's easy to say like whatever, but it also is really fucking easy to look into it and just see like the Phoebe Bridgers thing was just the weirdest one to me. Like it's such a bizarre thing to.
So many like construction companies are like dynasties. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, my dad
Yeah.
started
Yeah,
this.
there's a lot of that in every industry, really.
And
but-
imagine like us being like, fuck you, dude. You started your fucking Tonka truck company. You didn't start it at all. Your grandfather did. It's like, what's wrong with that, man?
Yeah.
What's wrong with
It's-
that?
That's like almost any like family business was probably not started by the person who runs it now. It's, their grandfather ran it or something like that before.
Yeah. Plus, we've definitely talked about this at some point when it comes to like the kids of musicians, but it must be so hard to be in their shadow at some points too. Like that, must
Especially
be,
if you're pursuing the same kind
Yeah.
of career
Because-
or the same instrument, even.
Like
Yeah.
Miley Cyrus.
And
Yeah.
why wouldn't you? It's the similar thing where it's like, I didn't become an engineer organically. My dad's an engineer, so I saw him do it, and I was like, hey, I probably could do that.
Yeah.
And that's what they're doing. They're not seeing like, oh, my dad's Billy Joe Armstrong of Green Day, and I want to be big and famous like him. No,
They're
you
growing up
admire
in
your
that
dad.
environment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what you
or you're
see.
surrounded by it. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
does suck though when you see like, okay, so and so's parents are famous actors, and now they have a band, and they're immediately higher up than
Yeah, it does
say
suck.
like for an example, Moniker, right? Like I'm the second musician in my family, but like I didn't have famous parents.
Yeah.
But if one of our parents were famous, we would already be on tour.
If one of us was Michael Cera, we would have a record. deal.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I can see why it's frustrating, but you just don't let it get to you. You go, that's good for those people.
yeah, because I mean you don't pick your spawn point. Like you're,
Exactly,
You're
yeah.
like you're.
I'm glad I get that.
I'm glad for you too.
Thanks, album.
I mean, it really comes down to that. Like that's like the privilege versus nepotism conversation. Like there's sometimes more privilege than nepotism. Like in that scenario, like that might be more privilege because of the scenario because their parents are famous actors, but they started a band, so their famous actor parents are going to shove a bunch of money into it.
Yeah.
and maybe ask someone, but probably just like just kind of push them in the right direction.
Yeah.
So as long as those people can be like, hey, I have this privilege because of my, super successful rich parents, that makes a world of difference right there.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift is not one of those. Like on
Yeah.
her new record, she said like I grew up on a farm. And it's like, and if you like on TikTok, whenever there was that lyric, people like pulled up pictures of the farm she grew up on. It's a fucking mansion, dude. It is massive.
Also, most farms are massive.
Yeah. Also,
right?
saying you grew up on a farm doesn't mean anything.
That just means you didn't grow up in a city.
Yeah.
You probably grew up on a giant
Well,
property.
she said, I
And
forget
probably
the
not a
lyric.
bad house.
Only 5 acres.
Yeah. It like, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we're just going to run in circles on here, but
Yeah.
like, I feel like we've made our points clear. It's just
That's
like,
good.
it's so silly.
It's good to talk about it though.
Pure podcast content.
Yeah.
Go through lists.
Yep.
2 a week.
So what are we listening to?
Yeah, I can
right.
go first because it's about nepotism. Actually, this is how
Yo.
this term came up. Nepo baby when I was in Ireland. Which
Okay.
is,
Your kid released an album?
No, sorry. No, my wife and I went to see an Irish folk band called the High Kings, and they're all sons of famous Irish singers that none of us know, obviously, but everybody in the crowd was cheering for like them saying like their dad and their name and stuff, and it was like, oh, this is sort of weird, but I guess this is a cool cultural tradition that maybe we're not in on, but
Inya? The Cranberries, Sinead O'Connor. That's all I got.
Okay.
Good work.
Martin O'Leary. Finally, I got it back. Thank you.
That's a different one.
Damn it. It's Stella Artois.
So what was it called?
The High Kings.
High Kings. Nice.
But
Yeah,
they
write
were
that down.
pretty enjoyable. It was a
Yeah.
very weird live experience because it was in a fancy music venue, like a downtown, like kind of fancy music venue kind of place. It's like probably higher productions than this normally.
Sure.
But they're on their like welcome home tour or something, and people were just shit faced because it was Ireland.
Yeah. Yeah. That sounds great.
Oh, we got to give him a cancel bug. He said that alcoholism is an issue in Ireland.
Okay.
You get another one.
He said they're after me, Lucky Charms.
I've got nothing for what I've been listening to.
I got so much.
Nothing.
I don't know. I don't know.
I got
what.
about 14 albums.
I'm gonna try to. I'm gonna just pick two things. Wolfpack's new album Schwitz that came out at the very end of last year, like December 30th came out. It is. I think it's excellent. It's like very relaxing for Wolfpack. I felt like, but if you put your ear to it, it's still very musically interesting. But like,
A lot of Antoine Stanley.
a lot of Antoine Stanley singing on it, but I think it's wonderful. It's been nice to chill to, and then Periphery released their first two singles off of their new album. I don't know why they do this and they name their albums such fucking stupid things.
Is it Periphery 5?
Well, that's fine. I'm cool with that. Periphery 4 was called Hail Stan, and I hate that because like I maybe want to buy the merch, but I think a shirt that says Hail Stan is cringe as fuck. And then P5 Periphery 5 is called Gent is not a genre. So I hate it. But
Yep.
the two songs they released are really good. There's a
What
lot
do they
of
sound like? Bambica? Bambica?
they don't sound
Bambica?
like Bambica. No.
Okay.
There's the first song ends with like a piano solo and a sax solo. It feels like they're like leaning in. Definitely leaning into like older like
Prog.
kind of it's there's aspects of it that feel very Between the Buried and Me, but that's not what they're going for, I don't think. But the piano sound they chose is horrible, but everything else in the song is cool. The two songs are they're like really heavy in certain sections. The vocal melodies are awesome. They do callbacks to old songs, so I'm excited for the album.
I've been listening to a lot of stuff, but specifically, there's a Japanese rock band that I've been super into. I've known a song or two of theirs for a couple years, but never had done like a deep dive. They have, I think, 4 records. They're called Number Girl. And I've been listening to all their music, so not really anything specifically. But what's very frustrating is they only have one record on all streaming. And other than that, it's a bunch of like compilations and then live albums. And I was like, okay, cool. I'll just go I'll buy it online. Can't buy it online. There's like none of it in print. The only stuff you can get is bootlegs. And I was like, okay, well, surely they have like a Bandcamp or something that I can get like these files from. I don't want to get a bootleg. Nope, none of that. I was like, this is I have had to like resort to listening to like bootleg rips online of like most of their albums, but
Damn.
they're incredible. Number Girl is like, when I think of like late 90s, early 2000s, like alternative rock, this is what I want. It's like this and like that Modest Mouse of that same time period. I'm like, this is the sound. And they're just incredible. I don't know what more I could say about them, but like I wish I could do music like them. They're pretty fucking incredible. Number Girl.
Nice.
Cool.
Anybody got anything else? Anything
Nope.
else they want to say? Anything? You sure?
Positive.
Awesome.
I'm not here next week.
Jackson's not here next
Is
week.
it because you're canceled?
Yeah.
Yeah, look at all this cancel buttons.
20 bucks.
Somehow
He
I
is
got
done.
5.
Yeah, that's
I don't
good.
have any.
Dave like underhanded
Yeah,
one.
you got to get yours.
You got
got rid of it.
you got
Oh,
to
yeah.
to pass it on to the next person. Do you want to double this and give this to the next person?
Do you want to double this or give this?
Okay, cool. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for watching. We appreciate you so much. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe on YouTube. If you subscribe on YouTube before the live stream is done, then it'll pop up a little thing on the screen.
It's free.
It is free to do it. Please leave a comment. Please email us. You can email us at nepobabies@don'tfeedtheartist.com. Tell us if you have any show ideas. Tell us hi. You can DM us on Instagram and say hi to us too.
You guys got any shows or anything you want to plug?
No.
You do.
Yeah, I know I do, but I'm also like I'm playing the Texas Theater here in Dallas this Saturday, January 21st. It will be a screening of the movie Juno, and then right afterwards, I will be playing a set of the soundtrack from front to back, and a couple extra songs as well as if they let me. We'll be recording that on video, so if you want to be in the edited version, you can be there.
Fuck yeah. Please like or follow or subscribe on whatever podcast app you use. I have to use so many different fucking words for this. I should write it down. Maybe that would help. Yeah. And then follow us on Instagram, DFTA Podcast, and TikTok, Don't Feed the Artists. So that's it, I think. Oh, and I think we're gonna try to like live stream all for all of these. I think probably.
I think we might as well. Yeah.
So for those who are listening now and you're free on Mondays or Tuesdays, it might be either
Wednesdays.
one. Well, we've done that before, but usually
Mostly
Mondays.
Let's say usually Mondays.
Usually Mondays, sometimes Tuesdays, and then if whatever, it might be Wednesdays. But usually Mondays, maybe Tuesdays around 8:00.
Central Standard Time.
Yep, we'll be live streaming on YouTube. Just go look it up. Don't Feed the Artists. I think that's it. All right.
Fuck off!
A Nepo baby.
Oh, there it is.
After me, Lucky Charms.
Let's give them all of them.
Yeah.
Make it rain. Cancel bucks.
I guess I won't show up next week.
You're canceled for a week.
I'm in the box.
What are you gonna do instead of be here?
Be elsewhere. Yeah,
Good-
come see
good
me in
plan.
Sweetwater, Texas, baby.
Nice. They got candy there.
They got